Thank you for joining us. My name is Michael Taylor. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions with Hawaii Pacific University. I had invited a faculty member to join us today. I don't see him on the panel yet, so hopefully he does join us so that he can talk a little bit more in detail about the Marine Sciences program here at HPU. I am part of the mainland admissions team. I am regionally based in Orange County. Actually, I work with mostly our mainland students, particularly in California and Nevada. Just a second while I get this up here. I'll be able to talk some generally about the university and present about HPU, and happy to answer any of those questions at the end of the presentation. And I hope that Professor Field will be able to join us here as well. He'll be able, like I said, to get in more depth into more detail about that, but I can cover a little bit more about HPU in general. One thing about HPU to know is that we are Hawaii's largest private nonprofit university. We are located in downtown Honolulu.
Aloha.
We are not big by mainland standards. We're about 4,000 undergraduate students. So we have an average class size of 17. We are a 16-to-1 student faculty ratio. And we have a very hands-on learning environment. We believe that students learn by doing. HPU for marine sciences and environmental sciences is a fantastic place to consider and to study. You'll find that we are small compared to a lot of other universities that have marine science programs. You'll get those small classes, small labs. We have our own research institute just for the marine sciences here called the Oceanic Institute, similar to the Ocean Institute. And so it's a great place for research and for learning. We really believe that students learn when they look closer at subjects, and when you look closer, you learn things will appear differently than they did originally, and that changes the way you see things. We do have a top-notch academics here. We are voted best college in the state of Hawaii, and all of our classes are taught by professors. We don't use teaching assistants or grad assistants in our classes. When it comes to how you're learning, you have a great relationship with that faculty. We want our students to see further. After you examine subjects closely, once you pull back and look at the big picture and look at it on a global level, you will also add an extra layer of knowledge to that. So one thing that we are really proud of here at HPU is the diverse environment that we have, not only for our student body, but our faculty as well. We are ranked #1 in diversity amongst private colleges in the United States, according to Chronicle of Higher Education. And so every classroom here is a learning laboratory, and you're getting exposed to different ideas, different viewpoints, different experiences as well. I'll show a video about diversity here at HPU.
If you're looking for diversity, then HPU is definitely the school for you. Being here in Hawaii to start off with, there is a big mixing pot of different ethnicities and cultures that are here. And HPU is also known as the most culturally diverse school in the nation. So we have a lot of different students coming in from the US as well as coming in from different countries around the world. So your roommate could be somebody that's from Japan or Korea or China, Africa, Australia. There's just so many different opportunities to meet people of different ethnic groups here at HPU. So that's definitely a plus for me.
The diversity that I've experienced here at HPU has been really awesome. My first year, my roommate was originally from Norway, and my suite mate was from Sweden. I also have a really great friend from Malaysia, and it's just really interesting how everybody can come from all different kind of backgrounds, cultures, different ways of living, and you kind of have that little one sense of common ground, and you can kind of connect and branch off and learn from one another, which has been really cool.
People are a lot nicer here, and it just seems that everyone's more accepted because it's such a diverse culture. No one would have many friends if people were too judgmental, and I think that's just a really important aspect of living here. You just get to really, improve your worldliness in a way and kind of just learn to accept more people and have them accept you, which I think is awesome.
I enjoy going to the Hawaiian Spotlight events and learn about the Hawaiian culture and get to actually help out with the preservation of historic sites. So we take out the invasive species.
I really enjoyed all of it, learning about surfing and learning about Hawaiian language. It's so beautiful, and it's different from anything that you're going to experience anywhere else.
There's people who say Hawaii is so isolated from the rest of the world, but in a way I feel a bit more connected to the world, where I've got to meet so many different students from so many very different places, and I've got to engage and get a better understanding of where they've come from too.
My time at HPU has definitely helped me expand not only what I know, but who I am as a person. You know, I've been able to experience so many different cultures and make friends with so many different people from not only the US or from the States, but from different islands and different countries. And I think they've all made an impact on me. And I think if I had gone somewhere and stayed in state, I wouldn't have experienced what I've experienced up to now, and I wouldn't know the things that I know up to now, and I definitely think they've impacted me as a person, and it's something I'm going to take with me in the long run.
And of course, as I said earlier, we believe that our students learn by doing. So we have a very hands-on approach to learning. Even as a freshman marine biology or oceanography student, for example, you'll be out on our research vessel called the Kaholo doing your oceanographic research techniques course. So it is a very hands-on learning approach. We have a guaranteed internship program at HPU, and our students are doing fantastic internships with the NOAA, with the state government, with conservation agencies, or even at our own research institute, the Oceanic Institute. I am going to share another video in a little bit that actually features one of our marine science students and her experience. Of course, one thing we can't forget to talk about is our great location. We are located on the island of Oahu, right in the heart of downtown. So that's the main part of our campus as a student here. That's where you'll be taking a lot of your classes, is at our downtown campus. We are part of the city. We're not a traditional walled off campus. So we're right in the heart of downtown, about halfway between the airport and Waikiki. Honolulu is ranked as one of the happiest, one of the healthiest, one of the friendliest cities in the United States. We are the 4th safest city in the United States. And so it's great. I say that my students really get the best of being in a major city, but you get the best of Hawaii as well. Of course, we do offer a number of majors here at HPU. You can see a list of those here. Marine sciences, environmental sciences are some of our more popular programs from our mainland students, but we do have programs ranging in the humanities, the social sciences, the sciences, as well as nursing. I'm not going to get too detailed with those faculty, but I will say again, we do have a guaranteed internship program with our students. We also have a number of study abroad opportunities for marine sciences and environmental science students. Our students are going all over the world. Our popular destinations include Australia, Japan, France, the UK, etc. Our students are successful. We do rank in the top 8th percentile nationally when it comes to graduates' income mobility. So when we reach out and talk to our students 5-10 years after they graduate, we see that our students do a really good job of climbing up that economic ladder, and they get a really good value for their education here at HPU. And this, by the way, is a picture of our Kaholo, the research vessel that we have our marine science students on. With the pandemic, we've all had to adjust to changes in the world. HPU was able to go fully in person during the pandemic by using social distance measures, sanitizing, vaccinations, testing, etc. So we've been able to maintain a very safe environment even through the pandemic.
My name is Sydney Brown and I am from Parker, Colorado. I am currently studying marine biology and I want to put an emphasis on conservation biology, and so I want to work in the field and help discover the planet and as well as protect it. I am someone who really wants to do research, and so when I found HPU, I found that it was very research intensive and focused on that, and so it was the Yellow Tang research program that got me really interested in HPU, and luckily I'm able to volunteer there now. My lab classes are extremely helpful at challenging me and making sure I know the subject very well. And I find that my teachers are very friendly and welcoming. One of my favorite experiences at HPU was on the lab where you go out on the boat, the Kaholo, which is through the Oceanographic Field Techniques course. We were just sitting there and we were able to see manta rays just, feeding and doing their thing, as well as sea turtles just swimming around. And it was just really nice having a classroom that's just immersed in the nature. I really like the urban campus. They provide shuttles if you don't feel like walking, even so it's like a 10-minute walk. And it's really nice having the campuses really close between ATM and waterfront, where you don't feel like you're spread all over the place like in some schools. I really like the community that's at my dorm. It's very welcoming and it seems like it's a family away from home, and I really appreciate that because it's my first time being away from home for a long period of time. So it's nice to have my own little group here to support me when I need it. I love playing video games. I have checked out the Esports Arena and it's fantastic. It's really cool and I highly recommend taking advantage of this opportunity. I also love going snorkeling with my friends. We have gone to Electric Beach several times because they're very well known for their sea turtles, as well as just going to the beach and hiking. My friends and I did a sunrise hike. If you're in such a beautiful place as Hawaii, you might as well do that, right? The biggest advice I can give to someone who's attending HPU is taking advantage of all the opportunities that HPU offers, whether it's becoming immersed in the culture, the study abroad program, or volunteering at the Oceanic Institute. Talk to your teachers and the dean of your school. Utilize those resources that you have for you to be able to study what you want to study and get the experiences that you want, being able to utilize the web of resources that you have here at HPU.
So that was the experience of Sydney. She's one of our marine science students, as you saw, and kind of what it's like going to school here at HPU. And she's a student that came here from Colorado. So you'll find that about 60% of our students at HPU actually come from outside of Hawaii. As far as student life goes, we have students come to campus the week before school starts for mandatory orientation. For those of you that are looking for an extra academic challenge, we do have a four-year honors program. The honors program is open to students of any major. It is a selective program looking for students that have high academic achievements in their background, and you live in a cohort with your fellow honors students the first year, and there is a study abroad option your third year, and students would graduate with an honors degree. We also have the Scholars Program, which is a unique living learning community cohort for your first year, and we only offer that for 3 majors, one of which is marine science. So the Marine Science Scholars Program, again, it is selective, it is totally optional, but you can apply to that if you're in a marine sciences major. And those students are living in a cohort with their fellow marine science students the first year. There are guest speakers, there are opportunities to get involved in activities related to that major. There is an option to get dive certified if you're not already dive certified. It's not a requirement for our program, but it's something that a lot of our marine science students do take advantage of and want to have by the end of their first year. Typically, a lot of them will do that. Outside of the classroom, there's lots of clubs, organizations, student life, activity, study abroad I mentioned, plus, as I said, you're in Hawaii. So there's a lot to do, especially if you're someone interested in the marine sciences, environmental sciences. You are living, you are playing, you are waking up every day in your laboratory. So there is so much to do and so much to see and take advantage of here. If I have any athletes on the call, we've got some great athletic programs here. We are Division II, men's basketball, baseball, cross country, golf, tennis, and soccer, women's basketball, softball, cross country, golf, tennis, soccer, volleyball, and acrobatics and tumbling. You can go right to our website and there's information on, we also have esports too. I'm sure you heard in the presentation, but we have a competitive esports team as well. You can go right to our website under the athletics tab and reach out to the coaches if you're interested in playing at HPU. As far as the cost of attendance goes, because we are a private university, we do not charge in-state or out-of-state tuition. Our tuition is the same pretty much across the board for all of our majors except for nursing, and that tuition right now is at $31,440 for the 2023-24 school rate year. Room and board, it can range between about $14,000 to about $20,000 a year. And keep in mind, when you apply for admissions, you're automatically applying for scholarships. 91% of our students are going to receive some sort of institutional assistance. You don't have to fill out a separate form for the merit scholarships. That's all done based on when you apply. We highly encourage you to complete a FAFSA as well, because the FAFSA is what we're going to use to determine federal financial aid and any need-based assistance. And then I highly, highly, highly encourage you to talk to your counseling office, your career center at your high school, because there are plenty of scholarship opportunities in your community, but you need to look for those. You need to apply for those yourself. We can't do that for you. And so financial aid is typically made up of a mix of institutional scholarships, federal assistance, student loans. We do have work study opportunities here at HPU. There are monthly payment plans, but I cannot emphasize enough to definitely look for some of those outside scholarships to help you fund your education. And to attend HPU, if you are not a senior right now, if you're a junior, let's say, you can apply starting in the fall. Our application usually opens up in late August, early September. If you happen to be a high school senior or a transfer student that's interested in coming into HPU next fall, we are still taking applications on our website. Early action deadline is November 15th, but for those that are seniors, we are still taking applications on a rolling basis. We normally charge a $45 application fee, but we waive that for anyone who attends our presentation. And so you can see that fee waiver code right down there. It's SHARK22. When you apply, you'll want to submit your high school transcript. We also like to have a personal statement and a letter or two of recommendation. The university has decided to go test optional for the fall 2022 and 2023 school year. That means that while we don't require the SAT or the ACT, you can submit it. It will go into your overall review of your application. HPU has a very holistic review process. We're looking at the whole student. For marine sciences and environmental sciences, we particularly want to see that you're doing well in your math and science classes. These are very rigorous programs for us when it comes to the math and sciences. Although it's not required, it is recommended 4 years of math, 4 years of science. And ideally, a student will have AP Bio, AP Chem, if your high school offers those courses. Some important dates, I mentioned November 15th is our early action deadline. You can start filling out your FAFSA October 1st of your senior year. If you're interested in that Marine Science Scholars Program or the Honors Program, you'll want to get that application in by December 1st. And January 15th is our regular decision deadline. After that, we do go on rolling admissions. We have a lot of great info on social media. In fact, if you look it up, our Kaholo actually has its own Instagram page with some great pictures. I don't have the link, but you can find that on Instagram and follow HPU. We have webinars throughout the year. If you go to hpu.edu/webinars, which I will add to the chat, you can check out some of our webinars that we host. Some of them are for particular majors. So we'll typically in the fall and even in the spring have a specific marine science webinar for students to take advantage of, since that's one of our popular majors. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I saw a few questions come through already. One question was, do you have career opportunities for marine biology graduates? Absolutely. Yes, our students get fantastic jobs. One thing to keep in mind is that at HPU, you get a bachelor's degree in 4 years, but if you want to spend 1 extra year at HPU, you're able to get that master's degree in 1 extra year, and you can do your master's degree with an applied track or a thesis track. That master's degree does open up more career opportunities as well as pay for our graduates. But yes, even at the bachelor degree level, there are career opportunities, whether that's in government, conservation, whether that's in policy, whether that's working in different aquatic sea life parks around the world. We're pretty well known for our fisheries program. So we'll have students that go into fish and shrimp farming opportunities around the world. This is a global program. So we've worked with governments of Thailand and Saudi Arabia to develop programs there and other countries as well, even working directly here at the Oceanic Institute. Because we have that guaranteed internship, a lot of those internships turn into job opportunities. Another question, what suggestions do you have for homeschoolers? Should we follow California college prep courses for high school, or can we go eclectic and build high school courses based on my son's marine science and math interests and volunteer opportunities? You know, being that we are the University of HPU, we're not going to be as strict as the Cal States and the UCs are here in California. So our admissions is very holistic. We encourage students to take classes in the areas that they're interested in. So those marine science and math classes, volunteer marine science courses are all excellent. But as I said, we do want to see that the student can perform in the math and sciences. So it is good to be able to take those classes. We will, look at those. We have a pretty we're not as strict as the Cal State's UCs when it comes to the specific A to G requirements. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you are considering applying to the Cal States and the UCs, you definitely would want to stick to their A to G requirements. But if you're only looking at out-of-state schools that have different requirements, then you can be a little more flexible, I would say. Please share any additional questions that you might have. I'm just going to check the participants to see if Professor Field showed up at all. Don't see him. But I'm happy to answer any additional questions. One thing you heard Sydney talk about is the yellow tang. That is one area of real pride for HPU. The yellow tang is an aquarium fish. It's really beautiful. You'll find it in a lot of saltwater aquariums. It's very bright yellow, very popular. They've never been bred in captivity. They have to be caught from the reef and transported to aquariums around the world. And that process of transferring them from the reef through production into aquariums, shipping them around the world, they have a high mortality rate. And so we've come the closest of any other research institute to breeding those yellow tang in captivity and working with that. So it's something that we've done a lot of work on, and we've been come the closest to that. And we make leaps and bounds in that area every year. One other question, what is my favorite part about the university? There's not one. I mean, honestly, I've been working at HPU for 9 years now. One thing I do love about this university is the diversity, because our students come from so many different backgrounds and so many different places. They really do learn from each other. They really do learn from each other, and they make friends with people from all over the world. My other favorite thing about this university is the faculty. Our professors love to teach. They love the students. They love to connect you to opportunities. The way business is done in Hawaii, it's very much based on who you know. And by being in our small classes with our faculty taught learning, you're tied into that connection that our faculty have. They typically have a foot in the industry they're teaching and a foot in academia as well. And then my other favorite thing is the location. There's no place like Hawaii. It's such a unique place. I mean, we get the best of the city, you get the best of the island. You can take advantage of the outdoors. It's such a culturally rich place. And our student, going to Hawaii is a little bit like going to another country. So that's what I love about HPU. It's just such a unique experience. What is campus life like? Well, our students are getting, because a majority of our students do come from out of state, they bond pretty quickly. We do have a lot of activity, a lot of student life. We want you to be busy, to be active. Our students take advantage of the hiking, the outdoors. You've got an average water temperature of about 74 degrees year round. So for those interested in marine sciences, again, you're living in your laboratory, you're playing in your laboratory. You can go out to the bays, some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, snorkeling, scuba diving, etc. Suggestions for high school students or junior college students looking to transfer. First of all, if you're in high school, you don't have to transfer. You don't have to go to your local community college. You can come directly to HPU and start working on that degree. Typically, those students who do start at the community college path, 2 years there doesn't always equal 2 years at the university. So while it is an option, I do encourage students to come directly through. That being said, HPU is pretty flexible when it comes to transfer admissions. To be admitted as a transfer student, you need to have at least 24 units from an accredited college or university. And we like to have a 3.0 or above, although again, that's not a minimum GPA. We will still consider students below that GPA. If you go to our website, we have for every major, we have a 4-year degree plan. So you can get an idea of what the gen ed courses would be required for each major and use that as a footprint to create your schedule at the community college. Most courses with a C or above from your community college will transfer or should transfer to HPU. But again, it's good to follow the pathway so you're taking classes that will actually go toward your degree here at HPU. And then what makes your school and program unique? Again, several things, but I would say for the marine sciences, there are size. You're not going to find a whole lot of other programs that are quite as small, quite with the small class, faculty-led classes, with the career and internship opportunities, and in such an amazing location. Because we have our own research institute, the Oceanic Institute out at the Makapu'u Point, which is the easternmost part of the island, you will be immersed in that learning and in the field of study. And there are even research opportunities for our undergrad students. The diversity here at HPU, you're not going to find anywhere else. And what I love about my job working with our California students is that we really, my California students at HPU really reflect the diversity of California as well. And so that's another really unique thing about our school and our marine science program here at HPU. Please let me know if there are any other questions that I can answer. I will post a link here. Give me just a second. I'll post a link here to our, just a second. I'll post a link here. Can't get it here. Give me just a second. I will post a link here of our inquiry card. So if you'd like to get some more information, you can fill out that inquiry card. I'll put that in the chat box. That way you can get updates and information from us. As I said, we host webinars throughout the year there. I just posted in our chat box the link for our inquiry card. And then we have another question here. Is it a relatively small school or a large school? How big are the class sizes? Great question. So HPU, we are the largest private university in the state of Hawaii, but we're small by mainland standards. So we have an average, we're 4,000 undergraduate students, which would be considered a small to medium-sized university. We have an average class size of 17. We are a 16-to-1 student faculty ratio. So we don't actually have big lecture halls at HPU. Our classes are not taught by teaching assistants or grad assistants. They are all taught by professors. So yeah, it's a good learning environment. You get to know your professors pretty well. They get to know you. What are your academic goals? What are your professional goals, etc. And overall, Hawaii, because we're not as populous as California, Hawaii is the 13th least populated state. Our program for admissions is not quite as competitive as many of those on the mainland as well. So again, as long as we can see you're doing well in your math and sciences in high school, usually we are pretty flexible when it comes to admissions. We are looking for more reasons to admit you than to turn you away. I'm not sure, latest questions, AP Bio and Chem or concurrent at CC, which do you think admissions prefer? Okay, basically they wanna know if we prefer to have AP Bio and AP Chem at the high school level, or if it's better to have the college, a dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment. You know, we don't really prefer one over the other. For HPU, both would be advantageous. The main difference though is that when we calculate your merit scholarship, we're using your total weighted GPA. So those AP courses are going to go on that weighted scale toward scholarship. So that can sometimes, having those AP and honors courses can have a big impact on the type of scholarship that you qualify for. But when it comes to admissions, we're going to look at either AP Bio, AP Chem, favorably, or the community college classes would also be favorable. There's really not one preferable to the other, so long as you're doing well in those classes. If you are taking concurrent enrollment and you do have classes that show as college credit, you'll definitely want to get that official college transcript sent to us so that we can evaluate those credits for transferability. For those of you that are attending a dual enrollment high school and you're getting college credits while you're in high school, you kind of get the best of both worlds with HPU, because you'll apply as a freshman student, even if you had over 24 college units. If you're coming from a high school directly to HPU, we would still consider you a freshman applicant, and we'd still evaluate those credits for transfer. So you could have you know, many, if not most, of those credits transferred in if you have C's or above in those classes.
Awesome. So let me just double check and see if there's any other questions in WUVA. I don't see any more that have come through on the Zoom.
All right.
I think that's it. I think you answered everyone's questions. Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Michael.
Yes,
Really
mahalo
great.
nui loa. Thank you. I appreciate it. And for any students, you can check out our booth. We do have a video playing in the booth that is specific to the marine science program here at HPU, and my contact info is in the booth as well.
Yeah, and I will add that inquiry card to his presentation profile, so that if you guys want to go back and fill out any questions in that inquiry card, you can do that there. And then if anyone's watching the recording, they'll know where it is as well. So thank you again, Michael. Thank you everyone for joining and listening to Michael share about the Hawaii Pacific University. It sounds like a great place and it makes me want to go to Hawaii right now.
Well, you're always welcome. Come on over.
And again, thank you to our sponsors, the Surf Industry Members Association. Thank you to our university sponsor, the Maritime College, and also thank you to all of our exhibitor booths. So have a good rest of your day, Michael. And again, thank you for joining.
Mahalo and aloha. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.